Good morning, everyone. This is Hemu, and I'm your trainer for this particular entire Palo Alto Firewall training. So, before going for any type of topic discussion and all, let me just share some details. So, guys, this is my mobile number, and I do have a WhatsApp on this number, so you can just text me in case of any questions, any issues you are having. You can able to text me anytime on the WhatsApp. And if you need any support, then I'm available Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST. This is the time. During this time you can able to call me and we can have a discussion in case of any issues, any questions, any doubt. I can also able to take the remote session if required. Okay, so this is the time. If this time is not suits for you, what you can do, you can request some other timing. Just ping me on WhatsApp. I can give you some other time and we can able to connect and I'll help you. This is my email ID, hemusianets@gmail.com. You can able to put any queries on email ID as well, but always I used to prefer just give WhatsApp, send message on the WhatsApp, and definitely you will get this particular text file. Don't worry. This is my LinkedIn profile. We do have a mobile application, so you can just download the mobile application in your Android and in your iPhone. For iPad, we don't have any application. Okay, so iPhone users and the Android users, you can able to download that particular application. But I'll request always try to access our content through the web browser. This is the link, learn.cnets.com/courses. This is our organization code. Now, remember one thing, guys, this platform is designed for most of the Indian customers or Indian users. Okay. For the international users, what you have to do, when you will create your account, you have to use your email ID. You have to create your account using the email ID. Indian users can directly create your account using the mobile number, which is like Indian mobile number. You can put the organization code and after that you can log in and you can able to access the entire content. Okay, and you will get the recording of each and every class through this particular portal only with lifetime access. Okay. And same details I will also put in our WhatsApp group, which I have already created, and I will add all the members on that one. Few of them already added, few are pending, so I will add. And even though this also I have texted in the chat, so you can able to basically get those links from there. Okay, in WhatsApp also I'll share, don't worry. Now, when I used to give trainings, basically things I used to mention here, like if you will see in this particular text, I have mentioned like in today's class, right? So for day 1 and day 2, what was the topic I'm going to discuss? I will discuss like what is firewall, your stateful inspection, your Palo Alto firewall history, Palo Alto firewall product portfolio, Palo Alto operating system, how Palo Alto build the operating system, Palo Alto hardware models, Palo Alto VM series, and also the Palo Alto series which they have offered for the Kubernetes or Docker, like FFC, like your cloud native firewalls. Okay. We will discuss the most important topic, which is SP3. In most of the interview, you will able to see this particular question SP3. So I will give you the very in-depth information in SP3, and I will also cover your packet flow. So in today's or tomorrow class, I will not give you the very in-depth information and packet flow. Okay, I'll cover. And once your batch will complete, I will run one webinar where I will cover the entire packet flow in depth. And we will discuss how we can take the initial access of the device. What are the configuration we have to do? And don't worry guys, I will also run you through how you can configure, what is the best practice to configure some features. Okay, everything I will cover. I'll show you the configuration using the web UI plus CLI. Both I uses, because when you are good with web UI, you can able to configure everything via CLI as well. And if you know the CLI, then you can able to do your task little bit faster in the production environment. You can able to create the template, that those templates you can able to use. Okay. Now, and I usually put some links as well. Those links are very useful. You can always go through those links. Okay. Get some information here. I guess this link is not working. Now I think the new link is learn.paloaltonetworks.com, but that's not a problem. They will redirect over there. Now, let me just start our first topic, which is what is firewall. So I'll go with very basics. Okay. I'll cover from the very basic what is firewall, what is stateful inspection, difference between your next generation firewall and the legacy firewall, because those are the things you have to know. And I'll request everybody, just try to, when you are joining this Zoom meeting, try to join with your proper name. Do not join with admin or some other names. Okay. Now, what is firewall? So let's try to understand what is this device, what is this term, what is this term which is like firewall. So guys, a firewall is a software or hardware based network security system. Now, which means a device called firewall is a software or it can be a hardware, which means a device called firewall, it can be either a software based, either it can be a hardware based. Now guys, can you give me some example for software based firewall? If you know, write on the chat if you know any names for software based firewalls. Yes, antivirus, that's correct. Windows firewall, that's correct. So in Windows machine we have a Windows Defender. Okay. We in your Linux machines we have a something called IP tables. Do you know those IP tables? We have some antivirus softwares like Quick Heal. Okay. All those are the example of software based firewall. Let me give you one very good example. Okay. So if you will open your Windows machine and if you will type here firewall.cpl, you type this command, it will open, and you can see here, click on advanced settings. When you will click on advanced setting, we have those inbound and outbound rules, guys. If you will see this inbound rules, I have a multiple inbound rules here. Those are the outbound rules. Let me give you one best example. Let me just go on one of my firewall CLI. So let me just go on this firewall. Let me do a ping host 192.168.137.1. This is the IP address which is available on my machine on my main PC on VMnet 8. See, let me open this adapter. Details. You can see this adapter have IP 192.160.137.1. Yes or no? Now, see, I can able to ping this IP address from my Palo Alto Firewall, right, which is an external device. Let's suppose I want to block this. What type of connection it is according to my host machine? Let's take an example. This is my Windows machine. This is my Windows machine. So I usually call this machine as a host machine. This is my Palo Alto Firewall. That firewall I'm running on VMware. And I have initiated connection from this firewall and I'm pinging this particular PC. What type of traffic it is? According to this PC. So on this PC, I am receiving this traffic. Yes or no? This traffic coming towards this PC, which means it's an inbound traffic. Now on which rule I have to make the changes? On inbound rules or outbound rules? So I have to do the changes on the inbound rules. Right? Let me just do this small change actually. And this is a very basic example, right? I'll create a custom rule. Don't worry how those rules are working here. Okay. Protocol. Let me just select here ICMP version 4. Next. Which local IP address does this rule apply to? So let me just apply to any rules and nobody able to ping. I want to block this connection. ICMP block inbound. Finish. I have inbound rules. And as soon as you can see, I have written this rule. You can see your traffic is stopped here. Not able to ping now. Now tell me one thing, because I know most of you have already done the CCNA routing switching. You guys are the working professionals. Now, when I have written this particular rule on my Windows Defender, what information from the IP header I have used for denying this particular traffic? From the IP header, what information we have considered? Source IP, destination IP, yes or no? ICMP comes under the layer 4 here. Source and destination IP address. Okay. And you can see I have blocked this traffic. You can see ping is not happening. If I'll go here, let me just delete this rule. As soon as I have deleted the rule, see, traffic stop working. So this is a kind of firewall, yes or no? It's a kind of firewall only where we can able to define the inbound and outbound rules. And guys, see, there is a one more rule I have. ICMP allow that rule. I guess I have created previously, but you know how it will process the rule. It will start processing from top to bottom. If you want to disallow something, see, always check here actually. If any type of malware is running in your system, and if it is trying to do the communication, you will able to see those particular rules here. Okay, just remember. Now, so I come to this definition again. A firewall is a software and hardware based network security system. Means we have seen just now, we have seen firewall can be a software. Now let's try to understand firewall can also a hardware based. So guys, can you just write down few names in the chat for hardware based firewalls? Palo Alto, obviously. Then we have a FortiGate. We have a Checkpoint, ASA, FTD, multiple firewalls out there. Multiple firewalls are there. Those are the hardware based firewall. Means my firewall can be a software, it can be a hardware as well. Now, it is a network security system that controls the incoming and outgoing network traffic. What do you mean by the control? First of all, we have to understand what is incoming. What is incoming? The traffic which is coming towards your organization is known as incoming traffic. The traffic which is coming towards your firewall or towards your organization from internet or from other branches or from other data center, that is known as incoming traffic. The traffic who is leaving your organization boundary is known as outgoing traffic. So guys, this incoming and outgoing is clear to everyone. Incoming means the traffic which is coming towards your organization. Outgoing means the traffic which is leaving your organization. That is incoming and outgoing. It's simple in your mobile phone, right? The call which comes towards your phone is known as incoming call. And when you used to call anybody, that is known as outgoing call. Okay. Now, what it used to do? It used to control. What do you mean by the control? What do you mean by the control? Control means we can allow something or we can deny something. Yes or no? Control means we can able to allow something and we can able to deny something. That is control. Means this device, what it can able to do? This device can able to allow the traffic or deny the traffic. What type of traffic? Incoming and outgoing network traffic. By analyzing the data or by analyzing the packets. So in my firewall, guys, if I want to allow something or I want to deny something, how I can able to do that? In the packet, what we have? In the packet, what we have? So according to the TCP/IP model, what we have? We have a data here. Below this data, what we have? Segment in case of TCP. So here we have either we have a TCP, either we have a UDP in most of the cases. Below TCP and UDP, what we have? IP header. So I'm going with IPv4 here. And below IPv header, what we have? Frame, Ethernet frame, right? This is how your data is constructed. Now tell me one thing. At your TCP and UDP level, what we have? Do you know one field in your TCP and UDP header? We have a source port field, destination port field, yes or no? We have those two fields. Apart from those two fields, we have other fields as well, but those are the most important field. Source port and destination port, yes or no? In TCP and UDP header, we have those two fields. In IPv4 header, what we have? We have a source IP address. We have a destination IP address. And we have a layer 3 protocol number, yes or no? Those three fields, I think everyone is aware about. Source IP, destination IP, layer 3 protocol. I'm not taking anything from this layer 7. I'm not taking anything from layer 2. But in layer 2, if you know, we have a source MAC and we have a destination MAC address, right? Now, what this device is doing? This device called firewall, what it is doing? Now, this device called firewall needs to control the incoming and outgoing network traffic by analyzing the packets. And this entire thing is known as packet. This entire thing is known as packet. And in this packet, basically what we have? We have a layer for information. And this is your layer 3 information. So you know guys, how it will control this incoming and outgoing traffic, means how it can able to allow the traffic if it's a legitimate one, and if traffic is not legitimate, then it needs to block that traffic. And if my device wants to do this particular thing, then because this device can able to understand the source port, destination port, it can understand the source IP and destination IP. It can understand the layer 3 protocol number. So those are the fields it will use for allowing the traffic and denying the traffic, or in broad terms, for controlling the traffic. So it is analyzing the packet and determining whether they should be allowed through or not based on the rule set. What is this rule set? What is this rule set? Rule set is nothing. It is just a combination of layer 3 information and layer 4 information. We have combined those information and we have written, if source is this, destination is that, source port is this, destination port is that, just allow, just deny. So it is just a combination of multiple statements where we have defined source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, and the action. Action may be allow, maybe deny. Let me show you something. How this browser got closed. One more thing, let me start here. Where is my EVNG? I want to refer one topology actually. So what is those rules? Those are the rules. Those are the rules. In those rules, what we can able to combine? If I'll just open this particular rule here, what this rule is saying, if source is my LAN subnet, destination is my destination IP is any, application is any, if service is on source, like destination port is TCP port 80 and TCP port 443, action is allowed. So this is known as rule set. So it will process according to this particular rule set. Let me show you something. Where is deny rule? Yeah, I'm denying this one, job search and all. Yeah, this is also one deny rule. See, the last rule, cleanup one, what I have written. Any source, any destination, any application, any service action, just deny it. So it will drop that particular traffic. This is known as rule set. This is known as rule set. Now, what is this device called firewall? So guys, if I'll just combine this particular definition, then a firewall is a device who can allow or deny the traffic on the basis of layer 3 and layer 4 information, right? Means a firewall is a device. It may be a software based device or it may be a hardware based device where we used to configure the rule set, which includes the source IP address, destination IP address, layer 3 protocol number, source port, destination port, and the other parameters. And it will basically have a action which is allow or the deny. For the legitimate traffic, we have action allow, and for the traffic which is not legitimate to our organization, we have action called deny. So guys, now tell me one thing. Is this statement is clear to everyone or this definition? Everyone is okay? No. Okay. A firewall establishes a barrier between a trusted secure internal network and the another network which is internet that is not assumed to be a secure or trusted. Now let me just grill on this particular statement. So see, I did not get you. What is the source identification? Source identification, just the source IP address here. Do not think very broad here right now. Just think about the IP address, source IP and the source port. That's it. It is just a basic understanding of the firewall. I'm not including any next generation firewall, anything. Okay. Now, let me just explain you something here. This is my firewall. This is the internet service provider one. This is internet provider service two. Let's suppose this is Geo and let's suppose this is Tata. One link of this firewall has a connectivity with this ISP. Another link has a connectivity with this ISP. Ethernet 1 by 1. This is Ethernet 1 by 2. Okay. Now, this is my LAN switch 1. This is my LAN switch 2. And here I have my switch 3. Let's say this switch 3 is the DMZ switch. This is Ethernet 1 by 3. Ethernet 1 by 4. This is Ethernet 1 by 5. Now behind this particular switch, I have my servers. Those are the internet facing servers. or mostly the web servers. Server 1, server 2, server 3. Let's suppose those server have IP address 10, 70, 2.101, 102, and 103. Okay. Now behind this switch, let's suppose I have my users. Here I have my users. 10, 70, 1.80. Okay. And let's suppose here I have couple of other servers. Let's suppose this first server is my app server 01. This is my app server 02. And let's suppose I have a database server D. This is my database server 1, and I have a database server 2. Okay. The very basic setup I'm having right now. Let's say here I have IP address 10, 70, 3.101, 102, 103, 104. Okay, now apart from this, what I have, this interface is a part of zone called outside. This interface is also a part of outside zone. This interface is a part of inside zone. This interface is also a part of inside zone. And this interface is a part of DMZ zone. I will explain you what is inside, what is DMZ and all. Okay. Now, this is the very simple setup I have. Let's suppose. Now let's try to understand here few things. Now tell me one thing, guys. I have couple of users over there in the internet. Those are the internet users. Okay. Here also I have couple of users over the internet. And over the internet, let's suppose we have a servers as well, like Facebook, Gmail. They are also available here. This is Facebook. Okay. They also have a connectivity somehow with those internet service providers somehow. That's not our headache. Now, guys, tell me one thing. In this particular setup, do you have any trust on those users? Do you trust anybody on the internet? As a network engineers, do you trust anybody on the internet? No. Now tell me one more thing. Let's suppose this is your PC and this is your colleague PC. Now you will trust on your colleague or not? Definitely we have to trust, right? Because why we have to trust on, see, this is your PC and this is your colleague PC. Why those two systems, they will trust on each other? Yes, same network, that's correct answer. But there's a one more thing I'm looking. Why these two computers trust on each other? Let's say those are the Windows machines. Those are the Windows machine. If those are the Windows machine, then in your organization, do you heard something like GPU? Do you know those group policies? Right? Those computers is a part of domain. Those computers have lots of restrictions according to your organization policies. Those computers, they only have a softwares which is approved by your organization. They have a Windows operating system version which is approved by your infosec team. Yes or no? Right? So that is the main reason we have a trust on both those peoples. Now, if we will think about according to this firewall perspective, this interface of the firewall and this interface of the firewall is connecting with the internet, because it is connecting with the internet, and internet is a unsecure area. Yes or no? It is a unsecure area. It is a untrusted area. If it's an untrusted area, that is the main reason this particular area belongs to the either outside zone, either you can use as a untrust zone, either you can define like a WAN zone. All are similar because I'm from the Cisco background, so I uses the Cisco terminology like inside, outside. But according to the Palo Alto terminology, they uses like trust and untrust. So guys, outside or untrust zone is a area which connects a firewall interfaces with the unsecure environment, which is internet. So what is outside zone? Outside zone is a zone where our organization firewall have a connectivity with the internet service providers. In internet, we never trust on anybody. In internet, we never trust on anybody. That is the main reason it is also called as a untrusted area or untrusted zone. So case we have to define those untrust, trust, everything. Nothing will be there in the default. Okay, we have to create everything. Now, so now you got the point here. What is outside, guys? If somebody ask, what is outside zone? Are you able to explain outside zone? Yes or no? Who is not who is having doubt with this term called outside, or the term called untrust, or the term called WAN zone, or the internet zone? All are similar, just a name used by different vendors. Unsecure, untrust, everything, all are same. Now, why I have kept those interfaces in a zone called inside? Because those computers, they are configured according to our organization policies. They are in the safe environment. They are in our LAN environment, which is a safe environment. Those device is behind our network security devices. I have denoted only the firewall, but maybe there are couple of other devices like proxy device, IPS device, right? Multiple security device will be there. Okay. And because we have a full trust on that one, that is known as, I have given the name here called inside or trust. Inside zone or trust zone or secure zone or LAN zone, internal zone. It's internal. All are similar. Inside is a zone which is a most secure zone, most secure place for your computers. If you are a part of your inside zone, which means you are sitting into the most secure area of your organization. And the third one is DMZ. What is this DMZ? Let me just explain you the concept of DMZ now. Now let's suppose you are from the company called Sianet. Right? Let's suppose Sianet is an e-commerce organization. Let's suppose we are the e-commerce organization. Now, generally those all the e-commerce websites, they have a web servers, they have a app servers, and they have a database servers. Now, when any user from outside, from internet, if those users, they want to access your e-commerce websites, then what we used to do, we will only allow the access of our web servers. They can only able to do the web browsing. Do you think we will allow the access of our app and DB servers? No. Now let's try to understand one more thing. Let's suppose these two servers, those three servers, they are running the web service, right? Which means they are running some type of websites. Now let's suppose those websites you have to add some templates in your website, or you want to remove something in your website, then what you will do? Your engineers who is sitting in this LAN area, they will access those servers, yes or no? They will access those servers via SHS, Telnet, Web UI, maybe RDP, yes or no, right? And if those network, those users, they want to do some type of shopping from your e-commerce website, then they will also access your website. Now, tell me one thing here. When these users, they will try to access your website, might be a out of 100 users, might be there is a 2 users, they are the hackers. And the intention of those hackers, let's suppose their intention just to exploit your servers. What do you mean by the exploits? Exploit means they want to gain the unauthorized access of your servers. Let's suppose one of the vulnerabilities there in the operating system level or in the application level which you are running. Let's say web servers you are running. Let's say you are using Apache. Let's say you are using Apache 2.7 version, and that version have some vulnerabilities. So those hackers, what they will do, they will try to exploit that Apache vulnerability and they will gain the unauthorized access. Now, if those hackers, they will get the unauthorized access of those servers, our app servers and database server is still secure. What they will get if they will get the access of your web server, what they can able to do here? They only able to change the website code. That's it. They can able to do. They will not get any kind of users data because your database server is in inside zone. When once they will get the access here, if they will use the technology called pivoting and the dual pivoting, which is a movement kind of technology. Like once we have the access of one server, we will use those pivoting and dual pivoting to gain the access of other servers. But when that particular traffic is going from this web server to those app server, that is blocked by the firewall, or maybe the web device. Most of the time we have a web devices for there. Okay, so that is the main reason, guys. We always put our web servers in a zone called DMZ zone, or we will put our internet facing servers, because this is the place where request is coming from outside, and also requests are coming from your LAN area. Outside peoples will access your web page, and your LAN users will access those servers for doing some type of website management and all. And if those servers is accessed by outside peoples as well as the inside people, which means this zone, do you think it is little bit a unsecure zone in comparison to the inside, right? Inside zone is a most secure zone, because if nobody from the internet can able to send any request to your LAN users, nobody. But in from internet, people can send requests towards your web servers, and you have to run that website because you want to do some business, right? So do you think because those servers is accessed by the internet users, so do you think those are the little bit unsecure area? So DMZ stand for demilitarized zone, which is less secure than inside zone, but it is more secure than outside zone, because when those users, they will access those servers, those requests coming through our firewall, through the security device. So though that is the concept of, guys, inside, outside, and DMZ. Outside is a zone who connects your organization devices with the internet. Inside is a zone where your LAN users resides. And DMZ is a zone where we have a internet facing servers, and DMZ zone is less secure in comparison to the inside, but it is more secure in comparison to the outside. This is the concept of, guys, inside, outside, and DMZ. So any questions, guys, on this concept, inside, outside, and DMZ? Everyone is clear with this? Write on the chat if everyone is understand those concept, inside, outside, DMZ. I just wanted to explain those three terms. That's it. How we will configure those servers, those firewalls, those we will see. But here I'm just trying to understand, trying to explain those concepts. I got one question like KS. By default, are there any? Yes, by default, they will create trust and untrust zone in the firewall. But we have to do the cleanup for that, because the type of those zones is vWire. It comes under the cleanup activities and all. and those I'll use to perform when I'll deploy the new device. Okay, now guys, I want to explain two more things. Ingress traffic or ingress interface and egress interface. Okay, so let's take an example, guys. Let's suppose this particular PC, let's say this is PC1. This PC1 wants to access this server 1. This PC1 is trying to access this server 1. So he had just sent the request. Let's say this server is running on TCP port 22. SHS service is running. So he is trying to access this server on port number 22. What is the first packet from this PC towards this server? TCP SYN. Now this TCP SYN packet received by the firewall on interface called Ethernet 1x3. So if you will see, this traffic is coming inside your firewall on this interface. So this interface become the ingress interface. This interface will become the ingress interface. This the same packet is leaving your firewall through Ethernet 1x5. Your Ethernet 1x5 will become the egress interface. Now you got the point what is ingress interface and what is egress interface. The interface where we receives the traffic is known as ingress interface, and the interface from where my packet is exiting out from the device is known as egress interface. Now let's suppose this particular user PC10 is wanted to access the same server on port number TC port 80. So he has sent it out the traffic like this. Now for this particular flow, what is the ingress interface, guys? What is ingress interface? And what is egress interface? Write on the chat, what is ingress interface? Ethernet 1x1 is the ingress interface and Ethernet 1x5 is the egress interface. So guys, now ingress and egress concept is clear. Great. Now there is a two things we have, inbound and outbound. Now what is inbound? What is inbound traffic and what is outbound traffic? So if you will see here, this area is your organization boundary, yes or no? All the devices, whatever available in this area is belongs to your organization, right? So the traffic which is going out from this boundary because this boundary have only two connections with ISP1 and ISP2. So that is known as outbound. That is known as outbound traffic. The traffic who is leaving your organization boundary. The traffic which is coming towards your organization is known as inbound traffic. So guys, inbound and outbound is also clear because those are the terms I will use multiple times. I will use in my explanation multiple times. And I want those terms will be crystal clear in your minds. Understood guys those concepts? Great. Okay. This is not required now, or what I can do. Let me explain you guys one more concept, okay? And after that, I'll move forward. Let me just clean this. I wanted to explain you the TCP three-way handshake. Okay. Now let's suppose guys, this is a server. And right now, let's suppose this server running the service on port number 80, not on 443. It's running the service on port number 80. Let me just give you the example here. I'll cover this inbound and outbound example. Don't worry. Danis is asked, what if inside organization downloads the upgrade and patches from Microsoft that is inbound? So like that traffic will go to the Microsoft servers, which is which is in cloud, right? So that type of traffic is known as outbound traffic. Now, see, let's have this particular server running on port number 80. So guys, now tell me one thing. Now, when this particular PC initiate the traffic towards this server, what is the first packet? What is the first packet here? Write on the chat. What is the second packet? And what is the third packet? Then what is the fourth packet? What is the first packet here? First packet is TCP SYN. Why? Because your web services runs on TCP port number 80. So it's a TCP SYN packet. In this TCP SYN packet, what is the sequence number? So it will pick the sequence number randomly. Let's suppose it has picked the sequence number. In our case, let's suppose 1000. What is the acknowledgement number in this particular packet? ACK is always 0 in the first packet. And in this packet, your SYN flag is 1. Oh, this color is not visible properly. I can use this one. Okay. So first packet is a TCP SYN where we have a sequence number 1000, acknowledgement number 0, and SYN flag equals to 1. I am not including any other information. Okay. What is the second packet? What we have in second packet? SYN plus ACK. Let's suppose the sequence number now, it has picked 20,000. Acknowledgement number is 101. Sorry, 1001. SYN flag is 1 here and ACK flag is also 1. This is the second packet. Guys, tell me, are you able to understand those? First is SYN, second is SYN plus ACK. And after that, we have a third one. What is the third one? Only the acknowledgement. Where we have a sequence number. And acknowledgement number is 20,001. And your ACK flag, this time they've set as 1. See, this is correct. If I let me remove this. Okay. Now, what is the fourth packet, guys, here now? Till here, everything is good. What is the fourth packet? HTTP GET request. What is the fifth packet? Write on the chat, guys. What is the fifth packet here? HTTP response. So this is how they used to do the communication in case of HTTP. Yes or no? SYN plus ACK, then acknowledgement, and after that we have a HTTP GET request and HTTP response. This is clear. Ankit, write on the chat. This is clear, guys. TCP SYN plus ACK, then the acknowledgement, and HTTP get request and HTTP response. This is how your TCP three-way handshake works. Now, why I have explained this TCP three-way handshake? Because I wanted to explain you how my firewall going to do the packet processing for TCP SYN, for TCP SYN plus ACK, for the TCP ACK, for HTTP GET request, and for HTTP response. Now, let me tell you one more thing here. In your TCP SYN plus ACK, and the acknowledgement. In those three packets, layer 7 data is 0. There is no layer 7 data. What? We have a layer 7 data which is 0 in packet number 1, 2, and 3. Our layer 7 data will available on those packets. Now here we have a layer 7 data. Now why I have put your attention towards layer 7 data equals to 0? Because see, my firewall, a Palo Alto firewall is a next generation firewalls. If it's a next generation firewalls, which means it supports the features like app identification. It supports the features of like content ID, which includes the antivirus protection, vulnerability protection, spyware protection, file blocking, wildfire, URL filtering, right? All those comes under the content ID. Because you know your SYN plus ACK and ACK, those three packets, my Palo Alto firewall will not send for app identification and content identification. Those tasks will not be done for SYN plus ACK and ACK packet. Why? Because they have a 0 layer 7 data. Once your HTTP GET request or HTTP response packet comes into the firewall, now those particular packets it will forward for your app identification and content identification. So Ankit, UDP, in case of UDP, there is no three-way handshake. Okay, your first packet onwards, you will see the data payloads. Got it? Got it, guys? This TCP three-way handshake concept. Now, why I have used those sequence number and the acknowledgement number here? Because when we will run the advanced debug commands in the Palo Alto firewall, when you are receiving hundreds of SYN requests from hundreds of servers, or hundreds of packets. Let's suppose you have a server. In your server, we have a hundreds of requests. Then how we will identify which packet we have to look? Then your acknowledgement number is 0 will help you. That's how you will identify, oh, this is the first packet because acknowledgement number is 0. Okay. Now, so this is a normal communication in case of TCP when we are running web services. Now let's suppose I am running now my service on port number 443. If I run the service on port 443, which is SSL based website. In case of SSL based websites, how that communication will happen? It will go through with the TCP three-way handshake, yes or no? TCP three-way handshake will be done here in case of 443, yes or no? What do you think? So whenever, if you're any of the service, whatever they are using, if it's a TCP based, then TCP three-way handshake will happen always. And after TCP three-way handshake, they will go through with the SSL handshake. And after that, once SSL handshake will complete, you will see the data or application level communication. Okay. This is just a normal communication here, guys. In case of SSL based websites or in case of TCP based websites. Now, guys, what I wanted to do, I wanted to explain you the concept of stateful inspection. So what we can do, let's take a break actually. Let's take a short break of 20 minutes, and after that we will start those topics. Okay.